out, and people get it real quick, and they kind of fall off, and then that's fine. I can't save anybody else. I can only save myself. So
that's true. And if somebody is listening out there that's really desperate and they've reached that point where they're just not quite sure how to stop whatever it is they're doing, but they want to, and they know they want to, and they're all alone, if you're listening to this, and it can be done. I just wish there was I do wish I could help other people, but just because you turned out successful doesn't mean that I could help anybody else, because I don't even know if I really helped you or not. But I don't know. At least you knew you had somebody there.
I know you didn't give up.
Yeah, you knew you had somebody there, but some people may be in a situation where they just don't have somebody that's going to keep telling them not to get all muddy in the creek, and they just because they just don't,
Right.
And so they may have to figure out. And it doesn't mean that you have to have somebody in your life to, but just hear other examples. And I hope it's not boring, because I know back when we first started with this, way back in Arkansas, when I was at your house one time, I was looking up things online, and that's when we learned about, what was it called, alcohol brain?
Wet brain.
What is it called?
Wet brain.
But I think they called it alcohol brain in this article, and how that's somewhere in the front of your head or something, but it tricks you, and it, like you were saying, it makes you think different things, and you've got to get out of that. Well, a lot of that stuff you weren't ready to listen to, and you didn't want to hear it, and to me, it was kind of boring stuff too, even though I thought, oh, this would be good for him to read. Ooh, it's awful boring, though. I want to spend my day listening to that or thinking about that, and yeah, I could see where he's not going to want to listen. There's nothing fun about the way it was going on. So, and like you said, people go to things that they're familiar with. And then I have a suggestion, like Aaron. Are you going to have him on your podcast sometimes?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll make an appearance.
Because there probably are people that, like you said, like I told you, I'm not a really big blog reader. I'd rather hear than read, but maybe there's people that do both, and in order to get themselves more familiar, Anna's been on the podcast a few times, and that makes a difference when you're reading her podcast. I mean, her blog. It really does, because you get to know Anna more and more. I feel like I know Anna just because of talking to her, and I'm friends with her on Facebook and that kind of thing. But I don't know. It just makes it easier to believe what that person's saying or get something out of what they're saying if you know them a little bit. So I would recommend introducing him on both sides, just a little bit now and then.
Yeah, I'll probably have him on the podcast. I mean, it's not going to hurt us. And and that's the thing. Like
that way people will be familiar with him when they go to the blog, or familiar on both sides.
Yeah, I made his picture
same thing
look
with
really cool.
Anna. Huh?
I made his picture. He's got a page on the website now at 217recovery.com. Go to under blogs, and then it's called Discovering Recovery.
But if they never hear his voice, and sometimes when you're reading a blog or reading a book, you think you know what a person sounds like or a character, or you got your own image of the thing, and then you see the actual movie, and it's way different than the book. So if you give them the movie first, then they read the book. They know what he sounds like when they're reading his blog.
Yes, but I asked him to write a little something. I was like, hey, this is something, because I saw on Facebook he was posting some stuff, and I was like, Aaron, I was like, you ever blog? And he's like, no. All right, well, think about it, and take a couple days. If this is something that you think about doing. And he sent me something. I gave it to Marnie, and she's like, wow, that's really good, and it was called, oh, man. It wasn't called Oh, Man. I can't think of
it.
What
Doesn't. It's fine.
But anyway, it was kind of like it was fine for that article, that post. But like, I asked him, I was like, okay, do you want to do this? And he said, yeah. And I was like, all right, think of a name. And he was like, what about the name? This. Sweet Blitz or Sweet Misery is Bliss. I don't know. But anyway, I was like, doesn't that kind of seem... Like, don't you think that's a little kind of negative? And he's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So then he came with Discovering Recovery. And that's perfect for him because he's right now discovering recovery. And what if the people in his life looked at him like, wow, that dude's never going to get clean. He's never going to... And now they're looking at him going, wait a minute. He is clean. He is moving on. Like, well... Hell, if Aaron can do it, I can do it too, Like, Aaron's going to help people. He lives over by Detroit, so completely different side of the state.
Okay.
And different people, he knows so many different other people. They'll catch wind of it, and the people that have caught wind of me, and Anna, and Marnie, and even Chris Goss, miss you, brother. But, the people that looked and thought, man, I never thought Chris Goss would, quit heroin, and Jesus, look at him, he's got a job and everything, and he's doing good.
Say that really bad.
Some people smoke pot, For me, I can't do it. But it is what it is. But they've come such a long way, and they're helping people, and that feeling of helping people is what'll move Aaron along, and in discovering himself. And I think that's a great name for the blog, Discovering Recovery, because I told him just be open with your feelings, honest, when you feel like drinking, write it down.
And you know, don't make people feel like they have to do that, keep on going in order to stay sober, because like with Chris, he's still doing a good job of staying sober, but being in this light isn't his comfortable place after all.
Right.
Even though he's very funny, he could actually be a comedian. I don't think he realizes how entertaining he is in a good way.
I wanted to go on tour, of course, COVID, but then we're gonna do a movie, and it's gonna be like a speaker kind of thing, and it'll be good. I don't know when it's gonna be published or out, but we're gonna make a movie, and I've always pictured Chris on stage with us, and like a stand-up comedy recovery tour, people pay to see horrible comedians all the time. You can get like 5 of us, $20 a ticket.
If no one's familiar, like if you're listening for the first time, 10th time or something, go back through some of Corey's previous podcasts and you'll learn who Chris is. And he's a guy with a really good heart, but I wish him the best. I just hope that he could come back and do something if he ever wants. You got to get yourself in that place where you want to help other people, because sometimes you're just trying to swim and get yourself to shore, but yet it is a good thing. But I think he's somebody that was inspiring.
Yeah, for sure.
But he brought the fun. I didn't think so at first, and you had to go and tell him that, but that's when he wanted to quit doing it, because then all of a sudden he thought, oh, Corey's mom don't like me after all.
That's what it was. No, I moved away, and then it was, it is what it is. It became hard, and then
other stuff happened, but no, he brought the fun to the table, sober too. I mean, he proved that he could have fun, but.
And you can watch. We got videos on our Facebook where I made him wear a helmet.
Oh gosh!
Because I baited him into that Super Bowl bet.
Yeah, I mean.
And then he had to wear a helmet, which.
Marty's lucky you don't make her do that kind of stuff, or you're lucky you don't try to make her do that, because you wouldn't get very far.
Well, Chris was supposed to. The original bet was he was supposed to go into the police station in Boyne City, and we were gonna spray paint gold like around his goatee, and he was gonna walk in with a paper bag, little lunch thing, like he was huffing. And he was going to ask where the bus stop was, because there's no bus stop in Boyne City. So the police would have looked at him.
Right. And that worried me. That was like
afraid
going
of
too
getting
far.
Tackled and arrested.
Yeah.
And see,
then
the
you
plan...
bullied him.
I did not.
Chris, you were bullied by him
bullied,
a little
Chris.
bit. But Corey loves you.
I do love you.
I'm sorry that he bullied you like that.
He's not listening.
But at least, I know he's not. That's sad. But at least he didn't just give in to you or lay down and let you walk on him. He stood up and he got his counselor to stick up for it. Even at least he found a way to do that. And say back off.
That
and I was
so
telling
funny because
you
we were going
to
to tell the
off.
cops and we were going to record it.
Yeah, but he had a lot to lose and a lot on the line.
I wasn't going to just let Chris walk in there and get arrested.
Yeah, but I don't think
No, I wasn't.
Cops
We were going to tell
have
the cops.
a different kind of a feeling towards drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably like a third element
And
of
like I
all
told
of
Chris,
this
there
that
was
we're
no
talking
just
about.
because your face is painted.
Maybe you should talk to, I don't know, this is just something to think about because they come in the mix somewhere in everybody's recovery. Like, oh, I can't break the law, or maybe a cop's going to see you and think you're drunk, or I don't know. Cops have to deal with all you guys' they have to deal with the crap side of it all. And maybe hearing from them too would just get one on that's not, how do I want to put it? Trying to boost himself, but just somebody that really cares that people don't do that.
I'll do that
get
this week.
their prospect of,
Or next week.
can you kind of say it's like we're not trying to be jerks. We're just trying to help you save yourself, I know the police that came in Buchanan,
mm-hmm.
they were the most, I can't even explain it. They were so human. There's one guy that was a little questionable, like, I'm a tough guy. But the girl policeman and another guy, and they really cared. They really, really did want to see you get sober.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like going there. I didn't like calling. You didn't like them coming. But it had to happen. And that's the kind of stuff they have to put up with. And maybe they know different stories of things that, I don't know, might be helpful. Or just a third element into the whole, like you got your side, the parent side, loved one side, the addict side, but nobody ever hears from that side. And they aren't tied into it if you look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll talk to them.
Because, there was the program of, which is now questionable, about how you could walk into a police station.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Angel program.
Yeah, and that was kind of questionable, but somebody in the police department thought of that and was trying to go in the right place with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether an addict went to them with that or something, but I'm sure they get just as frustrated, and maybe they have advice. Maybe they've had a problem in their lifetime. I mean, you just never know. But I don't know. Maybe some people hate cops so much that if they heard you had one on, they wouldn't listen. But there's some that probably hate moms, and so now they're not listening.
I'm not sure about that,
but how do we go from there to Chris to that?
Well, now we're going to thank you for listening. Appreciate you coming on the podcast, Mom. Marnie ditched me. Looking for a co-host. If you would like to co-host, I just need you to send me an email, Corey@217recovery.com, and we'll see if we can get you scheduled in for an audition.
Just because Marnie is tired and didn't want to do it. She wanted to give us.
How many times? I'm tired right now, but I'm still doing this.
Yeah, but think about
thank
this.
you for listening. 217recovery.com.
No, I can stick up for Marnie.
There's all kinds of resources on there. Go to the help services section. Check out Erin's blog. I put a cool picture up there of them.
She loves you so much. She's giving you time along with your mother.
Submitted our app for Apple and Google, so that'll be in the Play Store and the App Store very soon. Look for that, and it'll make it so much easier to read the blogs and listen to the podcast. And again, you can listen to the podcast right now on any platform.
Maybe there's a way you can make the
iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer. You name it, we're on it. Pandora. So you can still listen there, but like I said, once we get the app, it'll make it so much easier. And it's free. But we'll let you know when that's coming out. Also, horrible news. Not really horrible news, but the recovery rally that was going to happen in Paw Paw has been postponed. It was supposed to be on the 19th next month, and that's